And if I'm not mistaken, we might be already recording.
Yes.
Yep, there it is. I see the symbol. Perfect. Well, it is that time. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us again. This is our first webinar of 2023. So myself, Kyle, and then my coworker, Isaac, we are here to share with you the topic of Don't Wait, Hydrate. Nice little fun title for our hydration webinar here in January. So a few things before we get started. First off, as we just kind of mentioned, this webinar will be recorded. So if you do have to dismiss yourself early for another meeting, or if you want to just rewatch and listen later, you have that ability after we conclude this session. The webinar will be not only uploaded to our YouTube channel at Healthier Together Wellness, but also it'll be sent out via email to all the participants that registered for today's webinar. The slide deck as well will be shared within that email as well. So if you want to really go into the topics, the details as well, you'll have that available after we complete the webinar today. And then we do have the chat function operational. So if you do have questions throughout today's webinar, throughout the content, please use the chat feature, or I guess because this is a webinar type Zoom, you can use the Q&A as well. So either is a viable option to ask questions, and we will try to respond throughout the content. At the end, for sure, we'll review those questions and try to answer the best we can. And if we maybe get stumped or we don't know how to answer, we will contact you individually through email and really give you the quality answer that we would like to give. So again, Healthier Together, our Medtronic's wellness platform. If you haven't, be sure to sign up and utilize the tools and resources. A lot of great stuff in regard to tracking healthy habits, your nutrition, sleep guides, even some meditations and things. So utilize that platform as your opportunity for wellness, your well-being, and just, again, tools and resources that will be great when you need them. And here is how to sign up for Healthier Together. I won't spend too much time on this. I know we have many participants here who have seen this, but yeah, here in the slides is the way to sign up or register for Healthier Together. Now, during this webinar, we wanted to do something a little bit kind of fun in conjunction with the Drink More Water Challenge that's happening this week. So throughout the presentation, you'll see this little kind of light blue, baby blue colored water bottle icon on some different slides. And when you see that water bottle on a slide, that is kind of your encouragement, your reminder to, during this 45-minute session, to take a sip of water, to take a drink of water. And again, if you don't have water in front of you, but maybe you have coffee, maybe you have tea, maybe you have a juice or something, take a drink of that liquid. But because it is a Drink More Water Challenge, we are highly encouraging having a bottle of water close by. So I have mine. You'll be seeing myself sipping when I see the icon. And yes, Isaac has similar. And I have to say, it wasn't on purpose, but the same color of my water bottle is the same color I chose for the water bottle icon in the slide. So, so we do want to start this webinar with a little quiz. We want to test the water, your water knowledge. So we've devised 7 questions pertaining to water and kind of within the human body as well. So we're going to see out of the, it looks like about 92 participants here, if you are water experts or not. So one moment here as I pull up and begin the quiz. So feel free to take some time. Like I said, there's 7 questions. Answer the questions to the best of your knowledge. I'm hoping I launched this correctly. Or maybe the questions are just too difficult. Or is everyone seeing the, there it is. I see someone answered. Answers are coming in. One of the questions that I really wanted to see and kind of test was which organ in the body contains the highest percentage of water? And based on people's answers, you might be quite surprised. We'll give it about maybe 30 to 40 more seconds to get allow people to go through the questions. The other one that I was actually quite interested in was the fifth question. And this is Isaac, one of your kind of talking points later on is the cheddar cheese contains about what percentage of water?
Yes, I saw that on there.
Maybe a little bit tougher one, but about 15 more seconds here.
Yeah. I was wondering if you found that on your own, if you went down to that chart that I have on the slide. So
I honestly did not know that.
Yeah,
on my own, I had to look.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to end the poll here. We'll go through some of these answers, and you'll actually hear some of these answers throughout the content that we will share with you today. So to go through, and I don't know if the poll actually showed you the answers after you answered them, but so yeah, just to real quick run through these. So the true or false, the first one, more water is needed throughout the day if you consume a diet high in fruits and vegetables, and that is false. Second question was what percentage of the human body is water, and that is 60%. 60%. What contains more water, fatty tissue or lean tissue? And that is lean tissue. We got most people that answered that one correct. That was probably a little tougher one. Water is a universal solvent, true or false? And that is true. Water is a great solvent for most things. The cheddar cheese one. So cheddar cheese contains about what percentage of water? And that is actually 30 to 39%. So like I said, kind of a tough one. I don't expect most people to know how much cheddar cheese contains water. Which organ in the body contains the highest percentage of water? And that is actually the lungs. So only 5% picked the lungs. So kind of a little bit of a curveball, but I will say, and you'll see this coming up, is that a lot of our organs have almost a rough amount or similar quantity of water. And then finally, you are able to meet your fluid requirements for the day in 1 hour. And as most of you answered false, that is correct. The answer is false.
Yeah.
So nice. Pretty good, pretty knowledgeable people in regard to water. And I mean, just the questions that we asked. So very good. So if you didn't notice that, I haven't taken my sip of water. But yes, that bottle icon. So moving into why hydration, why staying hydrated is important. So as we answered, 60% of the human body is water. And it's quite fascinating as we move into this next slide here, just the different percentages of our different organs. So your brain and heart have roughly about 73% water. Your lungs at its highest, 83%. Your skin is only at 64, which that surprised me as well. And I think, at least for myself, I kind of think of just that aspect of perspiration. But your skin itself as an organ only contains about 64% water. Your muscles and kidneys are at about 79%, and then your bones are at 31%. So a lot of our organs, our body are contain that nutrient, that water, which is why, as we get into things, is so vital for us to maintain adequate amounts of hydration throughout the day. So other statistics, and this was kind of more of something fascinating to me. Again, more of the percentages, but babies and kids have more water as a percentage than adults. So like at birth, babies have the highest percentage of water makeup at about 78%. But then at about age of 1 year of age, that amount of water inside of that baby drops to about 65%. So closer to kind of that normal, almost adult range. In adult men, about 60% of their bodies are water, and then women are at about 55%. And that goes back to that quiz question that I had, in which the fat tissue versus lean tissue. And so with that, people with more fatty tissue generally have less water than people with less fatty tissue. Again, percentages, as Isaac will describe later on, there's a lot of factors, a lot of variables that will depict how much water you have inside of you versus somebody else. So what does water do for you? So as a vital nutrient, water is a vital nutrient for every cell, and it really acts as a building material for your cells. It also, water helps regulate your internal body temperature by sweating and even through your respirations, your breathing. Your carbohydrates and proteins, they are used and metabolized and transported by water through the bloodstream, assists in flushing waste, mainly through urination, and also acts as a shock absorber for the brain, spinal cord, and even for a fetus. For like the brain and spinal cord, we're talking about that synovial fluid that acts as that absorber. And then it also lubricates the joints as well. And as you see from this picture, there's many other ways that water has a benefit and helps within the body. Again, saliva for digestion. So when it comes to water, it should be a higher regard for consumption. So that way you can facilitate your cells, the transportation of nutrients, that regulation of body temperature, especially in maybe hotter climates when you're sweating, or even during exercise as well, during that perspiration, and making sure that you can facilitate those fluids back into you for just that proper functioning throughout the body, and even into that brain function as well. It's very important. So that way we keep our mood high and our energy levels high as well.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Kyle. Yes, we're going to go over now the recommendations and strategies for staying hydrated. And the water icon is on the screen. So let's all take a sip. Cheers. So in creating this webinar, Kyle and I really wanted to give you like how he discussed the why of why we need to be hydrated, and then also the how. So we really wanted to give you some take-home tips, some take-home information that you can apply right away into your life. And let's go into those recommendations and strategies. So on this slide, you can see are the daily fluid recommendations. Women's 2.7 liters and men is 3.7 meters. We'll go into a little more detail as to what we mean by fluids and what foods to eat when you're looking to but as for a general baseline, this is where you can start with your fluids and water intake. And a quick and easy strategy for setting a goal would be to between half an ounce and an ounce of water for each pound you weigh. So if you weigh 150 pounds, you would consume about 70 to 150 ounces of water per day. There are several factors that we'll discuss that can contribute to how much you should actually be consuming. It might be more, it might be less than these amounts in this next slide. So factors influencing hydration. So your birth sex, compared with people born female, those born male generally need more fluid to support their increased body mass, lower average body fat, and increased calorie burn each day. As Kyle mentioned, the higher muscle mass is needed for the metabolism of when you're working throughout the day. So men typically have higher muscle mass, and that therefore need a little bit higher hydration levels. For body weight, hydration needs to be influenced by the surface area of the body, metabolic rate, and body weight. As a result, as your body weight increases, fluid needs to increase as well. For our whatever life stage you're in, so fluid needs increase with our age as well. When we're children, we need less water than as we would with adults. Similarly, when someone is pregnant, they will require additional fluid needs to maintain proper fluid levels for a growing baby inside of them. And also, as if you were a nursing mother, also increasing your fluid intake as well. So the baby can get the proper amount of milk for themselves as well. Diet quality. As the Mayo Clinic points out, the foods you'll need to eat will also affect your hydration and the amount of fluid you need to drink. So, for example, if you eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, referring to that quiz question, you will need to not drink as much water throughout your day. And also other things like soup and other foods, which we'll discuss a little bit later. You'll get a good idea of what hydrating foods and what aren't hydrating. So yes, right here, Kyle, I think you clicked the link to it, but the hydration calculator will also kind of go into what we're going to discuss here with that activity level. So when you sweat, and it's hot outside, you're using more water, more fluid for metabolic processes. You lose it through sweat, and so like whatever environment you're in is going to affect how much water you need. And through genetics and other influences, the thing is regardless of, let's say two people they have the exact same diet, they're the same sex, the exact same body weight, they're in the same life stage, one still may require more water than the other based on just who they are, what their genetics are, and other things that can go into that. So really, as you can tell by now, the amount of fluids you need to consume each day isn't a one-size-fits-all model. A lot can go into your daily needs, and that's why it's important to know the symptoms of dehydration to monitor your hydration levels, as well as some tips and strategies for staying hydrated. So that hydration calendar, I strongly encourage you after the webinar, or maybe right now, you take a look at that site. It has like an entire thing on like asking you questions on how they can somewhat give you an accurate idea as to how much water you'll need throughout the day.
And there's a lot of different hydration calculators out there. So
Yes,
what I accidentally clicked on was someone in chat provided another calculator as well.
Oh, okay.
So
Gotcha.
yes.
Okay, I was like, wow, you clicked right in there. So yeah, it's it just depends on a lot of things, but we'll kind of go over this here in this next slide. Let's see. Yes. So how much should you drink? Oh, water icon, everyone take a sip. So touching on the life stage bullet point mentioned in the last slide, here is the general recommendation for amount of water intake based on the recommendations of the European Food Safety Authority and the US Institute of Medicine. These are population-wide adequate intake estimates and are in general are just, they give you like a general guideline. So you don't need to take that with, like, as we've been saying, as like, this is exactly how much water you need throughout your day. On the graph, it's listed in liters. So just to give you a reference there, a liter is equivalent to about 4 standard glasses of water. I need to take my drink. I mentioned it, but there we go. So if at some point, if you want to take a look at this, just to kind of see, like, just for your own reference, because it is pretty interesting, as you can very much see, as you get older, you require more water, and throughout your life. So looking at the signs of dehydration, this is what you can gauge in knowing what, and in seeing how you feel. If you know the signs of dehydration, this is when you can actually apply to, like, okay, well, I do need more water right now, or this is about the number where I won't this is about the number of how many ounces of water I need to drink per day, and I won't show any of these signs of dehydration. So if you are thirsty or have a dry mouth, it is likely that you are not drinking enough water. And this is where you want to aim to drink more fluids throughout the day. Once you are thirsty, that typically shows that you are already dehydrated. Another thing is, if you feel lightheaded and tired and are not able to focus or have headaches, these could also be signs that you are dehydrated. I know the headache one is a big one for me. I feel like instantly when I start getting a headache, I drink 8 ounces of water and cure just like that. I'm sure that's not going to be the case for everyone, but that's my own, like, my brain is telling me that. And then overall cognitive abilities, if it's more difficult to focus, you may just need some water. And then to touch on the low blood pressure and dizziness, especially in the previous slide you noticed on the elderly and older people, they don't necessarily you don't need to have more water, but it's just more imperative that you get that adequate hydration level, because when we're talking lower blood pressure and increased heart rate, that is a sign of, like, if you are an elderly person, you're more prone to dizziness and fainting. And then, of course, the last bullet point, I guess, it's a good indicator. We're going to talk about urine for a second here, but it's a good indicator to know if you are properly hydrated. That dark yellow, strong smelling urine is a sign that, hey, you need to start drinking some more fluids. And off to the right there, you can see a graph on I thought it was a great reference on how to see, like, okay, if you're in that lemonade to light beer category, you're doing all right. But if you start going in that amber, burnt orange setting, that is when, okay, your body's telling you, hey, so-and-so, I need to start drinking more water. Something also to advise with that is, if you're going straight by urine color, is that any vitamins and other supplements can affect that as well. So you may be properly hydrated, but whatever vitamins or minerals that you're taking could be influencing that as well.
I do have to say, the urine color, as odd as it is to kind of evaluate your urine color, that is, at least in my opinion, the best way that I have found to really designate and let myself know, do I need more water?
Yes.
It's also nice to just through thinking of how you mentioned the thirst bullet point. I was reading something throughout the content making up this webinar, that our thirst response is just a kind of a biological response. So your body will tell you when you're thirsty. So it was quite interesting that that is just an easy sign. Your body will let you know, hey, I
Yeah.
need water, I need some sort of fluid.
Yeah, it knows, the body knows. So just in a matter of listening to it. So let's take another drink. Water icon is on the screen. And here are some tips for staying hydrated throughout your day. Big one that a lot of people like to do is keep a reusable water bottle near you. Having a water bottle near you will encourage you to drink more water. It also is a good tracker on how much you've consumed throughout the day, rather than maybe just going to the drinking fountain and back and back and back. Fill in the reusable water before your workday. Be sure it's in your visible line of eyesight so you can always see it there. Drinking water during your workouts is another big one. Drinking water during your workout will help you replenish water lost through sweat and the metabolism itself. It also helps keep your core temperature regulated so you don't overheat. And just as a general tip, once again, it's how much, like a general strategy is just drinking 8 ounces of water for every 15 to 20 minutes of exercise. And maybe 8 ounces isn't enough for you, or maybe it's too much for you. It's once again, it's how it fits yourself. But the idea is to be sure you're drinking during an exercise, during your workouts. So drink water before eating or snacking. A lot of times your brain might be saying it's hungry, but if you haven't drank water in a while, it's actually, you're just thirsty. A lot of times, usually people think it's hunger when it's actually just the need for water or fluids. So next time you, maybe an hour after breakfast and you're thinking, oh man, I'm hungry, I need a snack. Maybe to have like 8 ounces of water, wait 10 to 15 minutes to see if you're still feeling hungry. If you aren't, then hey, it was just your body saying needed some water. If you are still, then go off and have that snack. Another one is setting reminders on your phone. People who are struggling to drink water, try setting, whether it's just an hourly timer of, hey, drink 8 ounces of water, whatever you need, or it's just a good way to stay focused on your hydration. Once it becomes more second nature, that's when you can turn off your notifications as well. And then eating more fruits and vegetables. We mentioned that it's, fruits and vegetables contain 90 to 90% water. It's low in calories and contains a lot of nutrients. Always have some fruit or a vegetable packed in your lunch or in your fridge at work. If you're at home, just having some fruit, especially throughout your day, will help that. And this next slide is actually going to provide the best foods to eat for staying hydrated. So on here, you see water percentage. Water is 100%, but then you go down and you see like the fruits, the vegetables in that higher range. Avocados, even cottage cheese is in that 70 to 78 or 79%. As you start getting into those more processed foods, you'll notice that is when the hydration effect of those foods starts to decrease. And it's not to say you shouldn't eat those foods, but it's just saying that at some point, if your diet primarily consists of those like 60 to 0% water content, that's when you just want to make sure you're being more mindful on drinking more water throughout your day.
There was a question, I'm sorry to interject, a question about are there negative consequences to overhydration? And that is a good one that I don't think we speak of too often. And just because it is rare, overhydration is rare. I think what I read leading up to this webinar is that for like more so endurance athletes, that the overhydration is typically something that is kind of prevalent with endurance athletes, but not too prevalent in just kind of general population, general people. But with in regard to overhydration, yes, there are some negative consequences, and it's something it can cause what's called water toxicity, and it's basically when your body's water is more than what your kidneys can excrete. So it can create some dangerous electrolyte imbalances and other things like that. There's some good articles on the internet in regard to overhydration, but like I said, for most of us individuals, overhydration isn't really prevalent, but it is something to keep in mind that yes, too much water can be, somewhat dangerous.
Great, excellent question too. I mean, yeah, I think next time we present on this, Kyle, we got to include that as well, I think.
Absolutely.
All right, so our next slide here, just a few quick tips on another hydration check. So be sure to take a drink of your water. Quick tips for staying hydrated throughout your day. Avoiding soft drinks. Enjoy other fluids such as low-fat milk, fortified soy beverages, 100% vegetable or fruit, juices and soups. Choose decaffeinated drinks if you more often to keep you hydrated as well. Drinks with caffeine should be limited to about 3 cups per day. And then keep a full jug of ice water. Maybe you want to have some like cut up lemon, lime, oranges, and cucumber slices in your fridge if you're just not a fan of like the just straight up taste of nothing, like for water. If you want to have some actual like flavor to your water, maybe add, like if you cucumber slice, this is something my dad actually does because he can't stand the taste of just plain water. He'll add like oranges and cucumber slices and stuff like that into his water. And he says it helps him to actually keep him drinking water throughout the day.
I'm curious what other people what are ways that you help encourage yourself stay hydrated? Because there's many different tips that work for some, that might not work for others, and some people are just stuck. They really have tried to increase their water intake and just maybe have come to some challenges or obstacles and just need those kind of solutions.
And
Ooh, and
I was just thinking the drink enhancers like that Phyllis just asked was like, I think I'm for those if it's like a 0 sugar version, because if you noticed on that chart, sugar is like has no water, 0 water in it. So it's like if you're just drinking, if you're having like a super sugary drink, that isn't necessarily going to help you stay at that optimal hydration level. What would you say to that, Kyle? Something along those lines?
The drink enhancers?
Like something to help taste the water, like bubbly absolutely. Or carbonated water, stuff like that.
For my philosophies and methodologies, I love those options where you can facilitate a higher water intake, but giving those like taste receptors, even into the brain as well. Because like you said, I think you said your dad, it's just some people just don't like the the non-flavor of plain water, and so they just need something. I'm one of those people as well. So when it comes to drink enhancers, I would say, again, my opinion is making sure that you flip over that package and look at the sugar content, look at the ingredients and what is in it, to make sure that it aligns with the other kind of daily intake goals that you have for yourself. Because I know that there are some like high sugar drink enhancers, and for those that are trying to watch their sugar intake, might not be the best option. And I'm looking at Marvin Gilbertson's chat message here. One other idea, and this comes from one of the nutrition programs that Medtronic has. is using, they call it H2 OJ or something, H2 orange juice. So basically it's like a little splash of orange juice, and then you dilute it down with water. So that way you can have a higher concentration of water, but then you have that orange juice flavor to it. So yeah, even though, yeah, some of those fruit juices can have some added extra calories, it might be an option just for that flavor enhancer per se, to use a natural fruit and dilute it with a natural fruit juice and dilute it with water. I love the questions. I know, yes, H2 orange. Yes, thank you.
Yes.
But
Oh, I just saw a good question on there. What are the requirements for water intake while you are in an airplane for 6 to 10 hours? But we can touch on that a little.
that is a good question. And it's hard to specifically say. I know because my wife and I like to travel, you know, we really try to maintain that higher level of hydration. In regard to like what our body needs. So I don't think there's a specific number for airplane travel, but you do want to stay hydrated to facilitate just the, you know, just your body's functionality. So you don't have that water retention. You might, you know, so you don't have like the joint swelling. I mean, that's why there's even that that suggestion for trying to get up and move while you're on an airplane as well. But that's kind of a whole different thing. But
Yeah.
great question.
But no, and that's where I think it just kind of goes into like knowing the signs of dehydration and being like, okay, well, I should probably start drinking more water because my pee is dark, or like I'm starting to get a headache, things like that. So just like
Yeah.
knowing what it is for yourself rather than just like thinking about one exact number.
True. Very true.
Yeah. And that is what I thought this was just, this kind of wrapped it up pretty well. This was from the National Dietitians of Canada, and is to meet your fluid needs throughout the day. Choose water most often. Remember that other fluids like milk, coffee, tea, and juice can also count towards your daily fluid intake. Try to avoid soft drinks and limit drinks with caffeine up to 3 cups per day. Remember to drink even more fluids when you are active and traveling, I guess, too, and in areas of hot weather. So, okay. So yes, let's go over a few of the upcoming events and live offerings that we offer this week. So, let me see, where is my slide? Okay, so the step up to the challenge is going to be a heart health team step up challenge. You can join the challenge, or join a team to be the leaders of the February's heart health step challenge. There's also a heart healthy webinar that we'll be doing February 16th at noon Central Time. We're going to be talking about advice and suggestions on how to incorporate more heart health foods into your diet, as well as the best methods for exercise for heart health. And then our February fitness focus is going to be our lower back health, and we'll provide a video and fillable PDF when that comes around. So just in general, keep an eye on Yammer for announcements and the Healthier Together, to just to be updated on to when these events will be happening. And we got a lot of other stuff coming up too that we're pretty excited about. So, and then for our weekly live offerings, just tune in. We got like 5 things going on throughout the entire week. So our newest one is our positive posture breaks, and that is just doing some stretches, some posture correcting exercises. They're only 10 minutes. They're every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And the times are listed as Central Time here, so 8:45 Central Time. Our fit breaks are Mondays and Wednesdays, and that is just a low impact Well, you can make it low impact. You can also make it high impact. It's however much you want to get out of it, but they're just a 15 minutes, get up and move, refresh your brain, just move a little bit, helps you be more productive throughout your day. And then our guided meditations on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Those are just a great way to disconnect, focus on your mind, refresh your mind, as well as your body too. And that's kind of where we go into those fixed breaks every Monday and Wednesday at 10:15, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 o'clock. And those are 15 minutes as well. And those are great. Kyle, our very own Kyle, leads those every day, and you'll feel great after doing them. Just to get up, stretch your mind, stretch your body, stretch your legs, arms, shoulders. He hits it all. So, and then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we do have a YouTube live stream for workouts, and those vary from yoga, strength training, cardio-based workouts. And those are a great opportunity. Those are only 30 minutes, but those are another great opportunity to try and stay active. And if you can't join for the live time, there are probably over 1,200 videos saved now on our YouTube channel that you can pick from strength, cardio, yoga, and all those stuff. So whatever you want to do, it's pretty much on there.
And one thing to note with our weekly live offerings is we do understand that our global audience, that the times that we provide these live options might not work for your schedule and other time zones as well. So our YouTube channel has on-demand or recorded options. So if you can't join us live, you can bookmark or save one of those videos and utilize it at your own scheduled time, or even with maybe a team meeting or something of that nature. So yeah, just know that there are options that are available for wherever you're at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good. So thanks for coming. Really appreciate everyone coming, and that's one last big drink of water. Cheers. Thanks for coming to the webinar. We'll keep you updated on Yammer and our Healthier Together website, and just keeping you in the loop on what to do. And it's just some great ways to stay active, and active with your coworkers, active with yourself. So,
yes. Join the Yammer community.
Yes, definitely.
I have to say, in the last 30 days, we've had some great conversations with our community. So
yes,
we'd love to have more people providing their knowledge and experiences to help others out. So yeah. Again, thank you for joining our first webinar of 2023. We hope the information was great, and that you have some takeaways that you can take with you and work on for your daily fluid intake, your water consumption. So thanks everyone. Take care. And we'll see you guys again soon.